Now at 9, the Parsons Elks Club continues its St. Patrick's Day celebrations. We'll take a look at the festivities. Plus, the Mirza Shrine Center holds its second annual Family Night Out for the community.
Former President Donald Trump expects to be arrested this coming Tuesday. I'm Nate Foy in New York. I'll tell you why this case is unprecedented for multiple reasons. Next.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cale Chapman. Today, the Parsons Elks Lodge hosted a parade to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with the whole community. The parade took place this afternoon and made its way down Main Street. Festivities went all day with a 5K walk and run, poker night, a biscuits and gravy breakfast, and the St. Patrick's Church 150th celebration. The Lodge started the weekend on Friday with a Best Dressed Lad and Lassie contest.
For the last 5 years, we've made the parade a lot better and bigger, and we have 45 entries this year. It's been a real success, and there's been a lot of hard work with a lot of individuals doing this.
The Lodge plans to celebrate again next year. Family, fun, and fellowship is one thing the Pittsburgh Mirza Shriners love to do. KOAM's Kara Worthen has the story.
We never just have a fun day, so we wanted to have a fun day and let the kids come in and be kids.
Mirza Shriners in Pittsburgh host their second annual Family Night Out. The Mirza Shriners host fundraisers to raise money to support children in need.
We do so much for ourselves. I said, let's do something for the kids. And that's what we've done. That's how we got it started.
We have volunteers on their own time on a Saturday afternoon during spring break that with the face painter, the clowns that are tying balloons, all came free of charge, not charging for the kids, and they're not charging us. And so it's just volunteers having fun and helping kids.
Face painting, balloon animals, and food was just some of the fun, along with a money pit for kids or adults.
I enjoy being a kid too. We have a pit full of confetti that we're going to throw a bunch of quarters in later and let the kids dig for them. I might be in there with them. I don't know. It might be fun. I enjoy being a kid just as much as the rest of them.
This brotherhood is all about fellowship, family, and fun.
Well, I mean, if anybody knows about Shriners, that's what we do anyhow, is we take care of the kids in our hospitals and our care facilities. So why not continue and do more things for them? And that's why my wife's saying this year is that she believes every child needs a guardian angel. And that's what we like to do. We like to look out for them.
A shrine in general takes energy. You've got to want to be a part of things. You've got to want to be involved and want to do for someone else.
In Pittsburgh, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
There are 21 hospitals nationwide in the Shriners organization. The 4-state open bowling tournament kicked off its 62nd season today at Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh. Over 200 teams of 5 are competing for this year's top spot. The higher the team or individual bowler places, the more money they will be awarded at the end of the season. The tournament will run every weekend from now until May 7th, but will take a break for Easter.
Bowling, as far as like from a sport aspect, a lot of people think that they're not good enough to bowl in a competition, but it's really it's about having fun and coming out and just having a good time. So
you can find more information about this year's tournament on the Holiday Lanes website. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now for a first look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Kayla. It's been a beautiful day, a little bit on the chilly side, but radar is all clear right now. But it's been cool for quite some time over the last 36 hours. Yesterday, we only made it into the mid-40s, and then we were down into the mid-20s this morning, only struggled into the upper 30s this afternoon, but that's nothing compared to where we're going tonight. We're going to be seeing temperatures dropping through the 20s all the way down into the teens, near record lows tonight across the entire area. And looking down the lane, we have those near record lows tonight with sunny weather on Sunday, windy on Monday, and then a chance of rain returns to our picture as we move into Tuesday. And I'll tell you all about that in our forecast in just a little while.
On Friday, former President Trump returned to Facebook, posting for the first time since the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th of 2021. The former president wrote, "I'm back," in capital letters above a 12-second video showing him speaking at a victory party on the night he won the 2016 election. In the clip, the former chief executive said, "Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business, complicated." It was Mr. Trump's first day since the riot, during which a violent mob of his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol, temporarily delaying lawmakers' efforts to confirm President Biden's election. President Trump sounding the alarm that he could be arrested in just a few days. If that happens, he'd be the first former president in U.S. history to be indicted. A New York grand jury has been presented evidence by the Manhattan District Attorney that could lead to possible criminal charges. Fox News correspondent Nate Foy has the latest.
Former President Donald Trump posted on Truth Social Saturday saying he expects to be indicted by the Manhattan DA's office. Trump wrote in part, quote, "The far and away leading Republican candidate and former president of the United States of America will be arrested on Tuesday of next week." The former president also told his supporters, quote, "Protest, take our nation back." The case revolves around a $130,000 hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels on the eve of the 2016 presidential election. Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, says he paid the money on behalf of Trump to cover up an alleged affair with Daniels that Trump denies. The former president declined to testify before a grand jury this month, as numerous Republicans claim the investigation is politically motivated. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy tweeted Saturday, quote, "Here we go again. An outrageous abuse of power by a radical DA who lets violent criminals walk as he pursues political vengeance against President Trump." Congressman Jeff Jackson thinks the evidence may implicate the former president.
Not only do we have evidence that Michael Cohen was reimbursed for that, we have Trump's signature on the checks, but that the reimbursement happened in phases. In order to prove the felony, you have to prove intent to conceal. And the fact that the reimbursement was structured may indicate the intent to conceal, that Trump sort of knew what he was doing was wrong and was trying to hide it.
Trump would be the first U.S. president ever to face criminal charges. He says he'll continue campaigning no matter what happens. In New York, Nate Foy, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll take a look at what experts are saying about the allergy season that's right around the corner. About a quarter of U.S. adults suffer from a seasonal allergy. For kids, it's about 1 in 5, according to the CDC. Health experts say this year's winter warm could trigger a more severe allergy season. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look.
If you're not a fan of snow, warmer winters could be a dream come true. But for some people suffering from serious allergies, medical professionals say a future of mild winters could wind up being a nightmare.
The way a warmer winter can impact seasonal allergies really comes down to, will that give a chance for these trees to start blooming a little bit earlier? And that may start to bring out the pollination process a little sooner.
Data collected by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration finds temperatures across large portions of the country were unusually warm last month. Virginia, for instance, experienced its warmest February ever recorded. Georgia, Kentucky, Maryland, the Carolinas, and Pennsylvania were among other states to witness their second warmest Februaries in history. And with less than a week until the official first day of spring, the warmer weather is already causing pollen to become problematic in portions of the South and eastern United States, like in Atlanta and Washington, D.C. Health specialists recommend starting allergy medication regimens 2 to 4 weeks before allergy season goes into full swing to help prevent worsening symptoms. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Recalled eye drops have been linked to dozens of dangerous infections and at least one death. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention identified 68 patients in 16 states with infections from Global Pharma Healthcare's artificial tears lubricant eye drops. The artificial tears, distributed by EzraCare and Delsum Pharma, were first recalled in February. According to the CDC, patients were infected by a rare strain of drug-resistant bacteria never before reported in the U.S. And a tick-borne disease is on the rise just as spring is around the corner. The Centers for Disease Control releasing a report warning about an increase in cases of babesiosis, a disease frequently carried through ticks. Babesiosis has been on the rise in much of the Northeast and parts of the Midwest, and it is considered endemic in 10 states. The disease can cause joint pain, fever, and can even be fatal in certain patients, especially among the immunocompromised. It can be treated with medications, but the CDC says people enjoying the great outdoors should be on alert for ticks and practice caution. Meteorologist Sam Lane is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, with spring right around the corner, we'll hear about some tips to avoid weather disasters while traveling.
Well, friends, we are off to a chilly start for the weekend with temperatures in the 20s this morning and only made it into the 30s this afternoon and even this evening down in Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino Resort. Pretty nice night as far as sky conditions, but the temperatures are starting to really drop, and that's because of all the dry air that we have in place. And we're going to see near record lows as we go through the nighttime hours. We only made it up to 37 in Joplin after starting out at 24. The averages are 61 and 38, so we didn't even make their normal low for this afternoon. 83 the records, and 18 the record this morning, so we were only 6 degrees away from that. And tomorrow the record is 13, so we're going to get pretty close to that as we see in the forecast. But right now things are clear on radar and expected to stay that way. In fact, it's clear across most of the country, in this part of the country anyway. Just some high clouds going across Texas. We have to go all the way out to the west coast before we start to see the next storm system that's making its landfall in California. That will make its way towards us as we go towards Tuesday. That's when the rain chances start to increase once again. Temperatures right now are in the 20s and 30s with northerly winds. You can see it's 29 in Yates Center, 27 in Iola, 26 degrees already in Stockton. And when we take a look at what it's been over the last 24 hours, we're about 10 degrees colder tonight than we were last night at this time. So we're on our way down. And when you factor in the wind, it feels like it's in the teens already in Iola with 18, 17 in Fort Scott, 16 in Nevada and in Stockton. Down in Jay, it feels like 22 degrees right now. And when we go through the nighttime into the early morning hours, it's going to feel like it's in the single digits as we go towards morning, especially over towards Aurora. And this is the reason why we have extremely low dew points. So the air is extremely dry, and these low dew points is what's going to allow temperatures to fall like a rock as we go through the overnight hours. Right now in Joplin, we're sitting at 30 degrees. It feels like 21. Look at this dew point, 11, extremely bone dry out there, humidity of 45%, and in Pittsburgh, not much better, 29 already with a northwest wind at 5, so it makes it feel like it's 24, and the dew point being a low 13 degrees. The winds tonight are going to be on the light side, but as we go through Monday, notice what happens. We have winds gusting up close to 50 miles per hour, so the fire danger is going to be very high on Monday with those low dew points and humidities and temperatures in the 50s and strong south winds. Tonight, look at these lows. In the low to mid-teens, maybe in some single digits up towards the north, like in Garnett with 9. Then as we go through tomorrow, we'll make it into the lower 40s, and then as we move into Monday morning, not as cold, but still chilly, mid-20s, and then on Monday, highs in the mid-50s, and then as we go through Tuesday morning, we start to see the showers come back with lows in the 40s and 30s. In fact, we're expecting around 1/4 of an inch of rain on Tuesday, higher amounts down to the south and east, and over across the country, cold out to the west, warm on the east coast. Over the next 7 days, here we go in our forecast, if I can get my map to change, there we go. As we go into tomorrow, 42, and then rain on Tuesday, and then warmer on Wednesday and Thursday with chance of showers, and then it remains kind of warm as we go through next weekend. But there's still some question as to exactly what's going to happen next weekend. Of course, we'll have to keep an eye on that and update you as well.
Cool beans. Looks like we've got a bright future ahead.
We do. Warmer weather is on the way.
I like that. Thank you, Sam. Well, the official start to spring is next week, and you may be thinking about plans for camping or boating, but on stormy days, your trip may turn into a dangerous situation. As Nicolette Zangara reports, that's why having a plan before your outdoor adventure begins is your first step.
The advice I would give is to do your best shot at research before you leave, knowing that things can change rapidly. Be familiar with the area that you're going to be traveling. It's often advisable to talk to some of the local canoe outfitters or folks in the tourism industry here who might be familiar with your hiking trails or your river corridors.
Dina Madison with the National Park Service in Missouri added that telling a friend or family member your itinerary helps rescue teams know where to start looking. According to the National Weather Service, 20 people die from lightning strikes and hundreds are injured each year on average. It's especially dangerous on the water, which is a great conductor for electricity.
So with lightning, you don't want to be very near the water. You also don't want to be very near any isolated tall features like individual trees or even bluffs or anything like that.
When skies turn stormy, get off the water immediately. If you're camping, Madison recommends moving away from the tent and seeking shelter in a vehicle if possible.
You happen to be gravel bar camping where you don't have a vehicle, but you're still set up with your tent, then you would use the same guidelines as if you had been floating and needed to pull off. Move away from your tent, any metal pieces, and try to find yourself a cluster of trees or bushes or something like that you could stand in and wait.
And this friendly reminder, heat lightning is a myth. If you see lightning, there is a storm nearby, and lightning can strike up to 12 miles away. Seek shelter as soon as possible if you ever hear thunder. And coming up, we'll take a look at the U.S. job market and where it stands post-pandemic. The U.S. job market continues to stay strong as jobless claims fell again last week. The Labor Department reports claims dropped by 20,000 for a seasonally adjusted 192,000. The average has stayed around pre-pandemic levels despite recent mass layoffs in the tech industry, as hiring numbers in other industries remain up as about 160 million Americans were employed in February. The U.S. housing market saw its first year-to-year price decline in a decade. Real estate brokerage Redfin reports that U.S. median home price fell by 1.2% in February compared to the previous year. Real estate agents say buyers are struggling with higher interest rates and increased costs, while sellers are adjusting to not being able to sell as high as their neighbors did in previous years. Agents also say the drop in prices could soon attract more potential home buyers. More and more young Americans are choosing to skip college. A recent study by Georgetown University's Center on Education and the Workforce found undergraduate college enrollment dropped by 8% nationwide from 2019 through last year. It appears the pandemic has played a large role in the decision-making. Some young people say a year of remote school work gave them the time and confidence to find other ways to build a future. Others say the cost of higher education is a big issue for them. They don't want to take on a mountain of student debt. Up next, a fan favorite hitting Paramount Plus this year with a brand new sequel. A little over 25 years since the original, a beloved Nickelodeon film is set for a sequel. Variety reports Good Burger 2 will begin production in May with a planned release on streaming platform Paramount Plus later this year. In a statement, one of the original stars, Kenan Thompson, calls working on a sequel surreal. Good Burger began as a sketch on a Nickelodeon series before it spun off into the 1997 film. It found box office success and became a fan favorite. We've got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, we'll hear about why an Oklahoma City police officer is being investigated. Plus, how crews are working to clean up a train derailment in Topeka, Kansas. Body camera footage shows an off-duty Oklahoma City police captain who was pulled over for an alleged DUI, asking the arresting officer to turn off his body camera. According to incident reports in the body camera video, Captain James French was pulled over after an officer allegedly saw his SUV swerve and turn without signaling early Sunday morning. When asked how much he had to drink, French said he had 3 or 4 beers at a poker game, and then asked Skinner again to turn off his body camera. French was arrested and booked on charges of driving under the influence of alcohol and failure to signal intention to turn. Oklahoma City police say French is on administrative leave pending the outcome of an investigation. Part of a freight train derailed in Topeka, Kansas. At least 4 cars appeared to have jumped the tracks Friday morning. BNSF sent crews out there to lift the rail cars and clear the tracks. There are reports that the train was carrying vegetable products and cornmeal. Authorities say no one got hurt. Another BNSF train derailed in Washington State Thursday, spilling 5,000 gallons of diesel fuel. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now.
All right, thank you very much, Kayla. It's been a beautiful day, a little bit on the chilly side for March, certainly. Radar is clear right now, but that's going to be changing in our forecast. But over the last 36 hours, we were only in the mid-40s yesterday, and then we dropped all the way down into the mid-20s this morning, and then struggled to get out of the 30s today. And we're going to be seeing near record lows tonight as we see temperatures dropping through the 20s all the way down into the mid-teens under mostly fair skies. And looking down the lane, we're going to have those near record lows tonight, but sunny weather tomorrow, and then a windy Monday on store. And then Tuesday, we have some rain coming back into our forecast, and I'll tell you all about that when we return in just a little bit.
A college baseball player was shot multiple times following a game Friday night in Ohio. The shooting happened on the campus of Muskingum University, about 70 miles east of Columbus. He was treated for non-life-threatening injuries at a local hospital and reportedly released. Olivet College says after its win on the field, one of its players went back to the dugout to get a personal item. The school says soon after there was an incident involving an unknown individual with a firearm. The local sheriff's office says it has a suspect in custody. One person was killed and another wounded Friday night in a shooting on Miami's South Beach, breaking the trend of what has so far been a relatively quiet spring break season for the popular tourist destination. Fox's Phil Keating has the details.
This spring break season here in Miami Beach has been relatively calm and violence-free since the beginning of March. Keep in mind, spring break here comes in waves, week after week, of new kids and tourists coming into town as different schools around the country have different spring breaks. But the calmness all deteriorated last night right behind me at that intersection when suddenly around 10:40 gunshots went off. And that's when police, who have clearly a heavy presence down here all month long, that's when they found two young men shot. They were taken to a hospital. One of those young men ended up dying. The other one that was wounded has now been released from the hospital. And police say they also detained one man, a suspect, who they say is cooperating fully with investigators. And they add they also confiscated 4 handguns at the scene. The spring breakers I was talking to earlier that were here on Ocean Drive when the shooting happened said it was absolute chaos, a stampede of people running north and south into restaurants, into bars, and trying to hide and get away from it all. But this is not the scene that's happening right now. Take a look at this video taken earlier in spring break. Once it gets dark, that's how Ocean Drive then gets really crowded. Lots of people. Hard to walking around. Everybody's enjoying their time. And, you know, police and the mayor's office, that's what they want people to do. And unlike previous years, the city has announced now they are not going to use this incident last night as a reason to impose a curfew as was done in the past. So the city and the police department just hoping all the spring breakers enjoy the sunshine. It's 80 degrees and sunny. Just keep it cool. In Miami Beach, Phil Keating, Fox News.
Still ahead, Google is warning Pixel and Samsung owners about new ways hackers can steal information.
Well, despite all the sunshine, we've been on the cool side the last couple of days with temperatures well below normal, including this morning with lows in the mid-20s, but that's nothing compared to where we're headed tonight. Right now in Seneca, Missouri, at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, mostly fair skies and cool temperatures. We're starting to see temperatures dropping down into the 20s already. 37 was our high after starting out at 24. Normally this time of year we're 61 and 38. The records are 83 and 18, so we were only 6 degrees away from the record this morning. We're going to get even closer by tomorrow morning. Radar is clear right now, but over the next 36 to 48 hours, we're going to start to see that change. Just a few high clouds down across Texas this afternoon, not really creating any problems. The next storm system is on the west coast, and it's going to take a couple of days before it gets here, probably arriving around Tuesday. That's when we start to see the rain chances increase across our area. Right now, we're seeing temperatures in the 20s already, up to the north, especially in Yates Center, Iola, Fort Scott, Nevada, Stockton, 30s elsewhere with northerly winds. And we're about 10 degrees colder tonight than we were last night at this time. So we're already on the cold side. And when you factor in the wind, it feels like it's in the teens. In Iola with 18, 17 in Fort Scott, 16 in both Nevada and in Stockton, 26, one of the warmer spots down in NOAD if you want to call 26 warm. And by tomorrow morning, we're going to see readings feeling like it's in the single digits. This is just unbelievable. 88 is what it's going to feel like in Aurora tomorrow morning, 17 in Independence, 12 in Iola, as well as Fort Scott. And it's all because of the dew points being so low. When you have dew points in the single digits and teens, it allows the temperatures to really drop, especially with clear skies and light winds. Right now in Joplin, we're 27, and it feels like 19 because of a northwest wind at 7, and the dew point of 12, and the visibility being 10 miles. In Pittsburgh, you can see the flag flying there. 28 degrees is the current temperature, and it feels like 28 with the northwest wind at 3 and a dew point of 13 degrees. And the winds tonight are going to be dying down to light speeds, but notice on Monday, these winds are going to be coming up out of the south, and they're going to be strong and gusty up to close to 50 miles per hour at times, and so the fire danger is going to dramatically increase as we go into Monday. But tonight, look at these lows. In the mid-teens, even single digits up in Garnett with 9, 14 in Mound City, 16 in Pittsburgh, 16 also in Jay with those northerly winds. And then as we go through the day, we're going to see the winds come out of the southwest. We'll make it into the upper 30s to lower 40s. And then as we go into Monday morning, not as chilly, but still below normal with lows in the 20s. And then Monday afternoon, strong south winds. We should still make it into the mid 50s with temperatures a little bit closer to normal. Then the rain starts to move back in as we go into Tuesday with lows in the 30s and 40s. And rainfall amounts are generally going to be around 1/4 inch. Higher amounts down to the south and east. And it's going to be mild across our area, warm to the south and east, and cold out on the west coast. Over the next 7 days, we're going to see some roller coaster of a temperature. 42 tomorrow, 57 on Monday, 70 by Wednesday with chances of rain on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then a little bit warmer as we go into next weekend, but that's still up in the air. We're still looking at some new data. Still haven't quite figured out exactly what's going to happen by next weekend, but certainly not feeling like spring out there with temperatures in the single digits and teens tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a lot to handle right there.
We'll make it through.
Well, yeah, we will. All righty, well, thank you, Sam. Check this out. DiGiorno made a pizza to go with March Madness fans' busted brackets. The frozen pizza maker announced a sweepstakes for its Cry Pie, which features a massive helping of onions. The company says the all-onion pizza will, quote, mask your basketball heartbreak. Coming up in sports, the Carl Junction girls are in the Class 5 state championship game tonight, looking for their first title.
Well, the Carl Junction girls basketball team has a chance to win their first ever state championship tonight in Springfield. The Bulldogs face Lutheran St. Charles Cougars this evening in the Missouri Class 5 state title game. Carl Junction enters the night with a 30-1 overall record, and they have won 25 games in a row. Tonight, the Bulldogs fall just short once again, 44-39. Lutheran St. Charles wins the Class 5 state title. Well, last time the Kansas Jayhawks coach Bill Self coached in the game for KU was 2 weeks ago from today. The Jayhawks won 3 of their last 4 games without Coach Self, and they need to make in order to make another Sweet 16 appearance, they only need to beat the 8-seeded Arkansas Razorbacks. Fortunately, we were unable to show you those highlights due to NCAA guidelines in the game that was just an absolute classic. The Arkansas Razorbacks stunned the defending national champion Kansas Jayhawks. Arkansas wins it 72-71. Jalen Wilson led the way for the Jayhawks with 20 points and 4 rebounds. That just wasn't enough. Missed some crucial free throws down the stretch. Kansas was 47-0 all-time in NCAA tournament games. It went up by 8 points at halftime. Until today, the Razorbacks will go on to the Sweet 16 for the 3rd year in a row. They will head west to Las Vegas to play the winner between St. Mary's and UConn. In the South region, the Missouri Tigers were also in action today against one of many Cinderella teams of the tournament against the 15-seeded Princeton Tigers. Mizzou was just not in rhythm today. They are the latest victim to be in an upset, losing 78-63. DeAndre Golson led the way for Mizzou with 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Tigers, however, Dennis Gates was very successful in his first season with Mizzou, finishing with a 25-10 overall record. Only Frank Haith finished with a better record. Both of those coaches ended their season losing to a 15 seed in the NCAA tournament. Well, the St. Louis Cardinals are less than 2 weeks away from opening day at Busch Stadium. St. Louis is trying to put the finishing touches on their spring training season with a tune-up game earlier this afternoon. Taking on the Detroit Tigers in Jupiter, Florida, Cards number 6 prospect Matthew Liberatore dealing for St. Louis. First inning strikes out Zach Short looking. Top of the second, Eric Haas whiffs on that one. Liberatore goes 5 innings with 5 strikeouts. Bottom of the second, no score. Alec Burleson shoots one up the middle into center field. Wilson Contreras scores. Cardinals up 1-0. Fifth inning now. 3-0 Cards until Spencer Torkelson goes opposite field, and that one is not coming back. That makes it a 3-1 ball game. 7th inning now. Cardinals up 6-4 as we see Dylan Carlson step up to the plate and see you later with a 3-run homer. Carlson will finish the day going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and 2-run homer. Cards win it 8-4.
Ball game.
Kansas City Royals were also in action. Spring training playing at Red Rock Canyon in Las Vegas. Second inning, 3-0 Royals till Kyle Isbell rips one down the right field line. RBI double. KC up 4-0. Fifth inning now. Royals lead it 4-1 as Isbell is there again. Line drive, base hit, beautiful swing. Gets the Royals to make it a 5-1 game. Still in the fifth now. Franmil Reyes will come up to the plate. And boy, this is a big man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called grown man strength. Big, deep home run into right center field, and the boys in blue would get the job done. They win it 8-5 over the Rockies in Las Vegas. So that will be it with sports. We'll be back right after this.
Hackers may only need a victim's phone number to get into certain Samsung or Pixel devices. Google's security research team Project Zero says it found vulnerabilities in Samsung modems which could allow hackers to remotely compromise a phone without any user interaction. Devices that use affected modems include the Pixel 6 and 7 and the Galaxy S22 and A53. Google says its March security update should fix a problem on Pixel phones. Microsoft is adding a new feature to its AI-enhanced search engine that makes sharing easier. The new Bing will include a button for users to share their experiences with others on social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, or Pinterest. Early users have the search engine and have previously posted screenshots of their results from the chatbot. Microsoft says the feature also generates a persistent link to the answer, which shows its response along with citations. Meta has begun testing a paid verification option for Facebook and Instagram users in the United States. The system gives users a blue check on their account, confirming their identity has been verified. What's known as Meta Verified starts at $11.99 a month on the web and $3 more than that for mobile. Besides verification, the option offers extras such as enhanced protection against impersonation accounts and direct access to consumer support. Up next, why a mother is searching to find 2 Good Samaritans that saved her husband's life. A scary situation on a Nebraska interstate has one woman searching for the Good Samaritans who helped save her husband's life. Josh Cristiano reports the couple were just a few miles away from their home when it all happened.
Thomas and Angela Watt had just gotten back from Florida for their anniversary, arriving at Epley Airfield late Wednesday afternoon. Thomas hadn't been feeling well that day. His wife says he was having some chest pains. So on the drive home, Angela calls up his nurse to describe his symptoms. That's when things took a turn for the worse.
Next thing I know, I hear him gurgling, like just a gurgle. And I look over and he's literally slumped, literally completely out on the steering wheel while we are in the fast lane on the interstate driving.
Thomas had suffered a life-threatening heart attack in the driver's seat with Angela right next to him.
So I shake him like, what's going on? And he's lifeless.
Angela couldn't get to the brakes, so she just put the car in park, slowing the vehicle to a stop. A lady pulled over to help Thomas, already in dire straits.
And this woman tries to get him out by herself, and she does, and 2 people come up, and the lady's like, I don't feel a pulse.
They needed to do CPR fast, but neither were well trained. That's when Angela says a miracle showed up.
She comes running out of nowhere, it seemed, and she's screaming, I'm a nurse, I'm a nurse. And she's immediately just, doing it. And then she was gone.
Doctors told Angela that if Thomas didn't get CPR that quickly then, he wouldn't be here today with his 6 children, including a 5-year-old daughter for whom Dad means the world. Angela now wants to find the good Samaritans who helped them that day, especially the nurse that saved her husband's life.
I would just say thank you. I could just thank you for putting yourself in risk to save someone you don't even know. Because my kids have their dad now.
Wow, that's a pretty crazy story.
Pretty amazing story. Glad he made it through.
Yes, yeah, of course.
All right, well, let's take a look at the forecast. We have near record lows tonight, 42 tomorrow for the high, and then windy on Monday, and then the rain starts moving in on Tuesday, Wednesday, well, really all the way through Friday with showers, and then next weekend, maybe some morning showers on Sunday morning, but at least warmer. So a little bit chilly tonight, definitely on the cold side.
Yeah, I mean, we just got done with all that. And I feel like we're going back.
I know, we're going the wrong direction.
Exactly, we need to go that way. Oh, jeez. All right, well, that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of animals at the Brookfield Zoo enjoying St. Patrick's Day treats. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.